Hello my friends, we have some awesome news. The president of Ukraine, Zelensky, visited United Kingdom today and met with the Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. As you can see, they're on the way to fly the helicopter to the military base where Ukrainian soldiers are going through the training that is done by the British instructors. And here they are on a press conference. You see the Challenger 2 tank behind, and by the way, UK was the first country that agreed to send Ukraine those heavy tanks. Yes, you might say that it was France with IMX 10 tanks, but those are very light and you cannot call them tanks without the caterpillars, right? So here we have heavy Challenger 2 tanks, then Germany and other allies joined with the Leopard 2 tanks, and I still expect Leclerc tanks to be delivered to Ukraine from France, because after visiting UK, Zelensky is flying to Paris. And there was the talk today to deliver the military airplanes to Ukrainian Air Forces, and Rishi Sunak agreed to train Ukrainian pilots. Obviously, they will be not trained on MiG-29s or Suhois, so we expect something interesting like F-16s. Yes, you may say that those are just talks about the military airplanes, but I'm sure that the main decision was already taken in Washington and in London. Ukraine will get the military airplanes 100%, and it will happen this year. The United States Secretary Blinken got the conference today, and he said that they will deliver more interesting goods to Ukrainian army because they want Ukraine to get back the lost territories. And definitely after New Year, you can see that Ukraine gets more and more advanced weaponry, the weaponry that needs training and professional soldiers. That's why it's very important to provide the training for our soldiers in Western countries. And because of that, the military command of Ukrainian forces admitted that they need more soldiers in the army, so they start to mobilize more men. Not just to train people, but to cover the losses on the front lines and also get some rest for the soldiers. And today President Zelensky even met with the King Charles historical visit. And remember, after the visit to United States, Ukraine got tanks, so I do expect that after visit to United Kingdom, Ukraine will get airplanes. And it was the symbolic gift in the parliament. This is the military aviation helmet, Zisha 3 I think, or maybe Zisha 5, not sure. And there our pilots wrote like, we have the freedom and just give us wings to protect it. Yeah, some of the trolls may say that Ukraine is begging for weaponry, you always beg for something. My friends, we also give our lives to protect not just Ukraine, but the free world. It's now the war between democracy and tyranny. And we don't need our allies to join this war, just help us to fight. Zelensky said that Ukrainian forces will not leave Bakhmut until Ukraine gets enough weaponry. I think that probably Ukrainian army may change the positions from the Bakhmut. Well, I will say for sure in a couple of days, then we see the progress of the Russian invasion or regress of it. Because from what I know, Ukraine sent lots of the reinforcements to that particular area and probably will have enough forces to stop Russian movement towards the city. But partially, they've took Bakhmut, I can state that. We're gonna review the map and I'm gonna show you everything. And this is Paris. Right now, while I'm filming this video, President Zelensky has arrived on this beautiful airplane of United Kingdom. And in Paris, President Zelensky will meet Macron and also German Chancellor Scholz. Those visits are not done on a daily basis, so I do expect something big to arrive to support Ukraine and Ukrainian army, especially after meeting of NATO Secretary and Secretary of State Blinken, where they discussed the help for Ukraine, and Ukraine already got enormously $120 billion help for this time. Without it, my friends, Russia would have taken much more territories of Ukraine. So our Western allies, thank you so much for your kind support. Speaking about the Leopard 1 tank, I was wrong. This kind of tank is not good really for the modern day warfare. I discovered that it got the very thin layer of the armor protection. It's not even close to the Leopard 2, and even against the old Russian tanks like T-72, it's useless. It can fight equally against T-62, but T-72 with proper shell will penetrate this tank everywhere. The other big problem lies the same as in T-72. The ammunition shells are located in a central part of the tank and some of them at the front part. And that is why NATO countries basically scrapped those tanks after Soviet Union designed and started massively produce T-72 tanks. So Leopard 2 is a nice machine against the Russian tanks. Leopard 1, I would say not sax, but close to that meaning. There are some of the upgraded versions, however, of that tank, like Leopard 1 A5 with extra plates, like you see this on the picture. Also, they have thermal cameras, but really it doesn't solve the problem with this tank in general. The only way how Ukrainian army may use those tanks is against the infantry vehicles and also fire from the long distance, around 3 kilometers. As you can see here, it's the maximum distance of the fire for this tank. The Leopard 2, however, may fire up to 5 kilometers. That's huge. And Chancellor Scholz already arrived to Paris too, and he met with Macron, and soon together they're gonna meet with President Zelensky. They're in a good mood, and hopefully we're gonna see the increasement of Ukrainian support. And Germany will send more Gepard air defense systems to Ukraine, including 6,000 shells for them. The Estonian spy chief says that Putin bets on the war extension. He's thinking that the Western support of Ukraine finally will vanish and Russia will take the territories that they want. Russia also wants to cause the massive destruction of Ukrainian civilian infrastructure to cause Ukraine to start negotiations with Russia. At the same time, Putin doesn't want to step back in the negotiations and insists that he wants the territories of Zaporizhia, Kherson, Donetsk and Luhansk. However, the Russian economy is not even close to our allies, and they will continue to support Ukraine until Ukraine liberates all of its territories. But again, there could be the probability of some sort of the negotiations. Again, it depends on our Western allies. But seeing that great support that we have from our Western allies during the last 1 month or 2, I don't think that Ukraine should negotiate about anything with Russia. And now let's review the hottest spot on the front lines. It is Bakhmut, and Russia stopped their advancement over here. Yes, you can see the vectors, but definitely there is no change for many days. Yeah, they moved here a little bit to the side, but definitely they are not moving close to Ivanovsky, because, as I say to you, Ukrainian forces were able to send new reinforcements to that area. Now they use this road as the barrier for the Russian army, and also it's on the high ground compared to where the Russians' positions are. Because the Russians cannot move on the south, they start their assault mission on the north, and here is the huge change. They are now very close to Paraskovievka on the north side of the Bakhmut city, but still, to get to the Bakhmut, they need firstly to get to this village and the Yahidne, and after that enter the residential area. Partially, they already entered the residential area over here on the northeast side and also on the southeast. As you can see, they've took many of the quarters under their control, but this river creates the obstacle for the Russian forces, so I do expect that they may take this part of the city quite soon. But speaking about this part, which is the main one, they will not be able to go there until they will advance over here, and now they're unable to do it. So basically, in 2 days, I may say for you how successful the Russian army is there in the region, or maybe not successful. Maybe they take this road under their control and move from the north to the south, and simultaneously from the south to the north, breaking Ukrainian defense. In that case, Bakhmut is doomed. We still have the supply road towards the Bakhmut city, and if our army holds maybe for 1 month, there's the chance for our guys to liberate the city completely and push Russians away from this place. But I would bet that Ukrainian army just would counterattack on the south part of Ukraine, and there's the chance for Ukrainian army to leave Bakhmut to let Russia take it and start massive counterattack in other place. Again, the main decision will be taken by the Ukrainian General Command. I'm here just to analyze the current situation, maybe have some sort of the prediction based on the previous history of what was happening on the front lines. My friends, now press the like to this video. Also, if you want to support my job, there are some links in the description for you to do so. So thank you so much for your help, and I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are, and have a great time.